Riho, Part 2, Chapter 3. Unlike earlier, the parlor was filled with officers. The room was filled with a frantic atmosphere. With Riho discovering the basement, they were all on the verge of identifying the real crime scene. Inspector Monbo stands imposingly in the center of the room, watching over the officers as if this was the most critical moment. The inspector really is into this, huh? Well, even if they know what the crime scene is, it doesn't mean they can immediately pinpoint the real killer. We don't really know how the corpse was moved to the hollow yet, after all. Yeah, that's true. I feel like if we could figure that out, we'd know who the killer is. Oh, thanks to you two, we can arrive at the real murder scene. Really, we're grateful. So the crime scene really was down there in the basement, right? Yes, we checked the vacuum laboratory and found the faint luminol reaction on the inner side of the door. She lightly scratched at her neck while she was suffocating, leaving blood on the door from her fingers. You mean she was running out of air and tried to open the door, and then... That's how it seems, yes. That's gruesome. I knew it was a murder, but this is too awful. Dying in such a way. Such a terrible way. It's too much. Manabe. We're doing our best to arrest the perpetrator. This is the minimum amount of respect we can pay the victim. He's right, Manabe. We definitely find the killer. Let's avenge Miss Kana's death together. Right, I'm sorry. Let my feelings get the better of me. Anyway, we're doing everything we can, so we'd appreciate if you can tell us if you learn anything relevant. Roger, sir. Yes. The very difference between their interactions with this guy and the, Sagamo and his. Can we talk to you, Net Hiroko? As soon as they stand in front of the reception room, they could hear people arguing. Riho realizes she's better off not going inside. She opens the door to crack and checks what's going on inside. I keep telling you, even if you say that, I can't do that. Yes, but try putting yourself in my shoes here. We already put in the advertising expenses for the next book. We can't just say it's not coming now that it's this late into the same. We can publish it as a posthumous manuscript if we do it now. Please work on it. Think of it as retouching it. Don't be unreasonable. If I change Miss Kana's style, the fans will be upset. Well, where there's a will, there's a way. You come up with the tricks for most of our work anyway, right? That's the first thing I've heard of that. Hiroko came up with the tricks for her books? Having thought that far ahead, Riho exclaims and realizing the wheels are on to face Manabe. She's concerned that a huge fan like her might be in shock of having come face to face with such a big secret about the author she likes, but Manabe's expression was as collected as ever. Manabe? I'm fine. It's not that surprising, you know. The tricks aren't that major of a part of the mystery novel's charm. The important part is how they used and the literary style that describes them. Oh, I see. That's good then. Riho sighs in relief as Manabe's reaction carefully closes the door. Riho arrives at Tomizawa's room and is immediately ushered in. Much to Riho's surprise, she finds another unsuspected person in Tomizawa's room. Oh, hello. Kono, what are you doing here? Oh, I invited him over for tea. The police make the parlor quite noisy and I had nowhere to rest. That's when Miss Tomizawa kindly invited me over. I see. Yes, I would assume the parlor is quite the mess right now. So, how's the police investigation going? Kono told me they discovered a basement. Yes, looks like it. We haven't heard of any new findings yet. But I hear they think the room the crime took place in is down there, right, Kono? Yes, they said something like that. I only heard bits and pieces of the conversation. So that's why. Seeing the way they act makes Riho realize why Tomizawa invited Kono over. Shiho Tomizawa is likely trying to get information out of Kono about what the police were doing in the parlor. She is a mystery writer. She is a mystery author after all. She can't help but stick her neck in. Not like we can judge her since we're playing detective too. I hope the police lift this house arrest within the day. Who knows? Our identities are all confirmed, so I don't think they can keep us here indefinitely. I should hope so. I'd rather not sleep on a piece of cardboard again. Oh, poor baby. Well, it looks like my theory hit a nail on the head after all. What do you mean? Well, only Kana and those close to her knew about the basement, right? Neither of us knew about it. In which case, that makes Soichi all the more suspicious. You knew about it, after all. I mean, that is true, I suppose. I don't want to rush to that conclusion yet, but I get the feeling saying that will just make things annoying. How's your store doing? You run a restaurant in Tokyo, right? Yes. That should be fine. I have my dependable assistant, Chef. I've been training, so I trust everything is fine with him. That said, that doesn't mean I can stay here for much longer. Huh? There's no sign of Azona in the locked room. Leaving the room without locking up is pretty careless. But with Ozona gone, there was no point staying in the room any further. Okay. After I finish this, we are doing Layers of Fear 2. Because it's out finally, and I want to play it. And by that I mean it's out on Switch finally, and I want to play it. Get another jump scare compilation. The two of them stop in front of Soichi's room. I get the feeling we came here for no reason again. Are you sure we should speak to him? We saw the studio in the basement. I think we can manage it somehow. Oh? Leaving behind Manabe, whose expression turned quite quizzical, Riho approaches the door and speaks. Soichi, we need to talk. It's important. Please open the door. The only reply she gets is silence. We saw your painting of Miss Kana in the basement. Riho can hear something move silently behind the door. The one drawing that painting was you, right, Soichi? Please open the door. A moment of silence and then... Come in. The door opens with a grave, heavy sound. Soichi's room is cluttered with objects strewn all over the place. It couldn't be called a clean, hygienic place. Still, Riho assumes she shouldn't compare a guest room meant for temporary residence and a personal room. How do you know I was the one drawing it? It's a Miss Kana standing in front of the estate. I don't think Kana would have drawn it herself. So I knew the only artist in the estate who could have drawn it was you. That studio, it was a room Miss Kana prepared for you, right? Soichi, please tell me. Miss Kana cherished you so much. Where were you when she passed away? I don't want to say. The way this is going, you're the only one without an alibi. They might decide you're the killer. Tell the truth, if only to dispel the suspicion. It looks like you won't talk no matter what. Then I won't back down either. Were you in the studio drawing while it happened? That painting was still fresh. The paint wasn't even dry. Yesterday you went to the studio to finish that painting, right? You probably wanted to finish your birthday present for Miss Kana on time. Tomizawa told me. She said your arm had blood on it, and she started blaming you when she saw it, right? A visible shiver ran across Soichi's face. No, that was... It's fine, I get it. What Tomizawa saw on your arm wasn't blood, right? It was actually red paint, right? The paint clung to your hand while you were painting. When you heard Miss Kana died, you ran out of the studio and forgot to wash it off. And unfortunately, Tomizawa saw it, and the fact she suspected you made you scared, and you ran. Am I wrong? Soichi remained wordless for a few more seconds, before eventually deciding to part his lips. You figured out that much. If it was blood splatter, it would have been on your clothes, but Tomizawa only saw it on your arm. But it makes sense you'd roll up your sleeves while painting, and it got dirty while you were working. It happened exactly the way you described. Kana made that studio for me. I'm too antisocial. Oops. Kana made that studio for me. I'm too antisocial, so she had it built for me so I could paint freely. So I wanted to draw her that painting as a present to show how grateful I was. I wanted it to make her happy. A tear runs down Soichi's cheek. But why? Why did this happen? Soichi. The only thing I'm good for is drawing. I thought participating in that party would just drag her name through the mud. That's why you shut yourself in the studio last night. Soichi gives a short nod. Why didn't you speak up until now? If you just explained that it's paint and not blood on your arm, we'd understand. I'm bad at talking. I thought I wouldn't explain it right. I thought if you misunderstand anyway, I may as well. And I might have left Kana to die back then, too. What do you mean? I left the studio to go to the bathroom when I saw the vacuum laboratory door was closed, and there was noises coming from inside. But that noise stopped, so I thought it was I just imagined it and walked away. If I'd only opened the door back then, Kana might have been saved, and that thought scared me so much. Is that the door to the vacuum laboratory usually closed? Yes, it's a vacuum equipped is shared with the mnemonic system, so it has to stay closed at all times. I think I got a good one from the, I don't think I made it, but I did get a good one from, I could have made one from the original one too. I did make a second one though with my friend for the first one. I see. The pneumatic system used the vacuum to transport things, so they share the same vacuum equipment. Yes. If that's the case, you shouldn't blame yourself. If the doors are usually closed, you wouldn't notice something wrong. You really think so? I do. The only one who should be blamed here is the killer. And if you're not the killer, I can't imagine Miss Kana blaming you for it either. Really? She comes to his knees and starts sobbing. Oh, poor baby. The two leave the room, leaving him to his sorrow. They press their ears to the door and hear that Hiroko and are still arguing inside. Huh, we better not be sticking our necks into the middle of this situation. And they leave. Let's see. Okay, not that. Oh, that's a button too, huh? Upon returning to the room, Riho stretches as she utters a complaint. It's been one thing after another since last night, and my body feels so stiff. I feel like I'm going to collapse on a bed any minute now. I feel the same way, but if I lie down now, I feel like I won't be getting back up until tomorrow. Totally. We should solve this now while all the people involved are still here. It'll take forever to solve this. Let's try again. They always say it in crime dramas, the initial investigation is the most important one. You get it, don't you? Come on, let's investigate one more time. Oh, all right. Riho slaps both of her cheeks to fire herself up and hurries out of the room. Oh, here we go again. Let's get the parlor. She could have gone there in the middle of the party with that. But damn it, both the manager and Soichi, the two of them had to have known about the basement, but they kept quiet about it. They didn't mention it? No, not a word when we questioned them. We didn't imagine there'd be an elevator hidden in a place like that. Well, I don't know if you can blame them that easily for that. What do you mean? Why not? I mean, the body was found in the hollow. They didn't think a place in the estate only people who live here know about could be related. I suppose that makes sense, but since they knew about the place, that makes the two of them very suspicious. Back yet? Nope. Huh? Alright. Where all do I need to go? Soichi, it's Riho. Riho knocks on Soichi's door. Perhaps the earlier crimes broke the wall he put up, because Teacher greets them weakly, albeit with swollen red eyes. Is there something else you need from me? There's something I forgot to ask you, may I? We think the only ones who know about the basement are you and Hiroko, the manager, is that right? I think. Assuming Kana and Hiroko never told anyone else. I see. Then one more thing. On our first day here, Kana showed us the third floor. She said the view from the rooftop was lovely. Does that mean there's a way to the rooftop? I don't know. Even you don't know, Soichi. No, Kana said the way to the rooftop was a secret only she knew about and wouldn't tell me. I see. That's enough, though. Just knowing that there's a way up there is good enough. That's all I wanted to ask, Soichi. Thank you. Riho? Riho hurries away from the room, leaving the perplexed Manabe behind. Manabe follows after her in a flustered manner. It really does bother me. What is it? Manabe, you had your camera running when Kana drove us here on the first day, right? Of course, visiting her house is a once-in-a-lifetime memory. Can we go back to our room and check that footage? Huh? Riho, what? Riho hurries out of the room, ignoring Manabe's flustered reaction. My business is not doing great just because of COVID. But I have a job tomorrow, so that's something. Upon returning to their room, Riho and Manabe used the camera's preview function to examine yesterday's footage again. Which scene do you want? I want to see the part where you recorded a panoramic view of the capacious hull. It'd be best if I got it from a distance. Right, then how about this part? Oh, that's great. That's great cabaret. Leave out the cabaret. What about it, though? What direction is the hollow we found in the body and related to this footage? The road we took there curved, so it should be this way. It was probably a side away from the driveway. I knew it. It has to be. Did you figure something out? Yeah, but I'm not sure yet. I think we'll figure out everything once we go to the rooftop, though. The rooftop? Yeah, there should be a way up to the roof somewhere on the 3rd floor. Let's find it. At times like these, letting Riho do her own thing was usually the right choice. Knowing this, Manabe simply nods and leaves the room with Riho. Nope, wrong room. I meant to go to the parlor. There are 2 officers standing in the cloakroom, but there's tape to specifically they weren't allowed to pass. The officers thankfully say nothing as Riho boards the elevator. Oh, look at that. Whoa, here we are. This is where Kana brought us on our first day. Right. It was 2 days ago, but it feels like such a long time. Anyway, if there's a way up to the rooftop, it has to be this floor. Let's try to find it. Yes. It probably has to do with that damn eagle statue, doesn't it, in the bathroom? Riho finds what looks to be Kana's room and reaches for the doorknob. The knob only rattles and the door shows no signs of opening. Looks like it's locked. I figured the passage to the rooftop might be in Miss Kana's room. Well, we can't force a way in. Let's give up on this room. I guess. Riho and Manabe check the bathroom. The air tub is filled with water as if nothing out of the ordinary has happened. Whenever I look at these bathrooms, it always looks so impressive. I'd love to take a bath in a place with this kind of view. Well, if you become a famous actress, you might get to live in a big mansion like this one. That sounds pretty far away. No, so it's not there? Okay. It's Kana's study. Like last time when Kana was there to show them around, the room felt awfully dreary without its owner. Those are probably materials for writing sitting on the table of documents that look like they were copied of some book. What's this? Essential Iron Mine articles. Looks like there are some old documents that were copied in the National Diet Library. There's a summary sheet here. Let's see. Kanayago is said to be a patron god of iron manufacturing, an unusual god with a fondness for corpses. It is said that by decorating its Tatari furnace with corpses, it produces high-quality iron. It looks like Miss Kana wrote that memo, but it'd be a bit different from what she told us at the party. Yeah, the nuance is a bit different from it seeing out of sacrifices, and it says nothing about it roaming the mountains for new ones. And since it's a god for iron manufacturing, it shouldn't have anything to do with the Iwami silver mine. I suppose she dramatized the story to make it more of an exciting horror story for the party. Looks like it. She went as far as to make that entrance, so I can imagine her being that devoted to keep us entertained. I'm hungry. The bookshelves are stacked with technical manuals. Among them sticks out an old handwritten notebook. This notebook is Miss Kana's. Flipping through the pages, Riho sees schematics with memos attached to them. I think it's full of ideas for tricks. Here's the trick for using the food trolley, same one Kana used at the party. And the last page says, Riho breath catches in her throat. She slaps the notebook shut and turns her gaze to Manabe. Upon confirming Manabe isn't looking at her, she stuffs the notebook in her bag. Nothing else. Riho and Manabe appear at Kana's PC. The monitor is dark, but it's probably in sleep mode. With a few strokes of the key, the screen comes alive. Looks like it's not password protected. I guess she figured outsiders wouldn't find this room, so she didn't care much for security. Forget that, Riho. This file might be... No way, is this Miss Kana's newest work? Looks like it. Can I read it? Whenever clearly forgot about the investigation and shifted back to being just a fan of Kana's, Riho cracks a forced smile and agrees. Yeah, let's read it. It might hide some hint. Right. This is for solving the case. We've got no choice. We spent some time reading through the file containing Kana's newest work. Kana had seemingly only written the intro because the file was only 10 pages long. It's unfinished, but it looks like the protagonist is plotting to become successful by murdering to sacrifice someone to Kana Yago. I get it, so Kana used the party to introduce her next work's concept. Looks like it. She probably casually mentioned the concept to gauge your reaction. Could be, but between that ghost story and the tricks in the Capricious Hall, Miss Kana really was an entertainer at heart. Again, I think this is all a ruse. Of course she was. That's what made her such a successful first-rate author. Yes, I can see why you could be a fan of hers. Maybe I should pick up her novels sometimes too. Really? Then once you finish reading, we can stay up all night talking about how great her work is. I think I'll pass on the all-nighter. It's the best time I've issued. So many emails. Alright. Other than Doma, there are normal writing implants on the table. There's nothing else of the ordinary here. Riho says that she peeks below the table and lets out an erratic screech. What the heck? There's some weird tanks down here. Looks like plastic tank. What is it doing under the table? Beneath the table were two large plastic tanks. They were closed with large lids. Their transparent flanks showed the tanks were full of some kind of liquid. The label says dichloromethylmethane. Dichloromethylmethane? Dichloromethylmethane is a type of colorless chemical with an acute smell that is usually used as a solvent. There's so much of it. What was she planning on using it for? Maybe to investigate for some more tricks? There's still quite a lot of it. The two stood there. Austin thought for a moment, but eventually came up with nothing and decided to leave the tanks as they were. This is the manager's room. If she lives here, maybe Hidoko knows how to get to the rooftop too. Of course, they can't get into the room that belongs to someone who's still alive. The two close the door without touching anything in the room. No, that didn't help us. Back to the bathroom. Like the last time they saw the bathroom, they find the tub is filled with clean water. We couldn't find any way up to the rooftop in any of the rooms, so it has to be here. Here, you mean in the bathroom? Yeah, in other words, this is Miss Kana's private space, I guess. Don't you think it's a perfect place for Miss Kana to hide a secret passageway only she knew about? When you put it like that, I guess it does. Let's check this place out a bit more thoroughly. Riho reaches for the relief set on top of the pillar. Riho couldn't easily reach it with her height, but she stands on her tiptoes and somehow manages to touch it. Is this... what? There's an odd feeling of texture there, like something soft. Soft? And Nabe reaches for the relief with a dubious expression. Finally, they use dubious in this chapter as well. I've been waiting. You're right, it's soft. What is this? It feels like urethane foam. Oh right, that's what it feels like. But don't they usually make reliefs out of plaster or something similar? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Miss Kana specified that this material should be used. This pillow looks like it's made from a different material compared to the rest. Riho raises her voice upon touching the pillar under the eagle relief. Manabe touches it, and indeed, the area around the pillar feels warm, unlike the coldness of the plaster. See, the material feels different. You're right, it seems like it's made of some light material. I wonder why. Why is it only this spot different? Okay. Riho, look under the pillar. It looks like some kind of panel. You're right, it's not like the gutter. It's not positioned on the floor. What is this? Move it. There's writing under the eagle there. An eagle watches over the birds sipping at the waterhole. That's what it says. What does that mean? Doesn't it mean that the eagle is protecting the birds while they drink? That's pretty on the nose, and there's no birds here. Maybe it's from some kind of poem. No idea what poem it could be referring to, though. Putting an inspection like this here feels pretty unnatural. There wasn't anywhere else in the estate that had an engraving like this. The bathtub water isn't hot, it's cold. This tub is a circulating bottle, so I think you just need to flip a switch before you get in and it heats up the water. But is there even a point to having cold water in there all the time? I don't know. It probably looks like a waste to us since we're commoners. The pain of being petty bourgeois, huh? This is weird. Something's off about this bathroom. There has to be some kind of secret here. Riho. My parts are low too, but Riho silenced her with a raised hand. She looks around the entirety of the bathroom one more time. There's some kind of trick to the way this place is built, which is an eagle of relief made of the urethane foam, a tub that's always full of cold water, the pillar made of light material, and an eagle watches over the birds sipping at the watering hole. The birds sipping at the watering hole. Ah! I get it! Birds that drink! Drinking birds! That's right, a drinky bird. A drinky bird? Right, haven't you seen the one of those bird toys that kind of bob their head up and down? This entire jacuzzi room is one huge drinky bird. Ah, and drinky birds are built so there's a red fluid at the bottom of the device. I get it, Ah, there was some in Miss Kana's room. Right, just wait, I'll go get some. Nabe hurries out of the bathroom, excited by Rio's discovery, headed for Kana's room in the light jog. After a short wait, Manabe returns with one of the... No, that's both, not one. Plastic tank to Kana's room. Rio takes it and reaches for the panel beneath the pillar. It should be here, see? Rio opens the panel and reveals a space just large enough to set the plastic tank inside. She pushes the tank into space and it clicks perfectly into place. I guess that's the right answer after all. It should be. 1 minute passes, then another. The two stand with bated breath, but wait, though they might, nothing in the room seems to change. We were wrong. No, that can't be. That's the only use the thing could have. Ah, what, were you wrong after all? To get drinky birds to work, we're supposed to pour water on the bird's head, so let's do this. Rio scoops up water from the tub and splashes it on the eagle relief. After being doused with enough water, the relief changed color, and at which point Riho stopped. This time it should work. The two of them gazed fixedly at the relief. Their impatience made time to grind to the irritating crawl. However, ah! Rio exclaimed, and as if her voice was some kind of signal, the eagle relief slowly pitched forward. Until its beak reaches the water within the tub. You did it! It worked! The drinky bird's tilted was likely some kind of switch, because as soon as the Manabe raises her voice, the metal ladder descends from the ceiling. Alright, let's put a mark on it with some lift of tape. There. After pasting a piece of tape that says "Der thing" below the pillar, Rio rises to her feet, and so the two of them discover the method to rise to the rooftop.